What's up, guys? This is Jakob. I'm Content AI Manager and founder of Content AI Tools. Welcome to a new episode of the Content AI Show. I'm speaking today with COO Erica Salm Rench, who's working on Rasa. Rasa is helping people to use AI to personalize their member newsletter and save time, which is the biggest issue when it comes to content creation when you speak, especially with C-level entrepreneurs. There's the time pressure and they don't have the time to create content. So Rasa is solving a big problem, in my opinion. Welcome to the show, Erica. Very cool to speak to you with you today.
Thank you, Jakob. I'm thrilled to be here. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you're working as COO. That's a Chief Operation Officer, right?
Chief Operating Officer. Yep,
yeah.
Exactly.
So before we dig deep into the topic of AI and your exact tasks that you're doing, can you maybe give us a short introduction about yourself? Where are you coming? Why is AI that important for you? And yeah, just curious about that one.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I started my career actually in recruitment. I worked at Tulane University, which is a school, a higher education in the United States. And I kind of came on the scene when a lot of the really cool, tech forward marketing automation tools were kind of hitting the scene. And I fell in love with marketing technology in general. And then after I got my MBA at Tulane, I went on to manage a team at the largest online marketing agency in the Gulf South, where we did everything online to help an organization stand out amongst the chaos of the online marketplace. So we did search engine optimization, social media marketing, paid online ads, front end and back end web dev. But the one thing that we never touched was email, because email is such a hard thing to do in a quality way and at scale. So that's what really intrigued me about Rasa.io, is leveraging artificial intelligence in order to enable people to send really quality emails, but also at scale. So the email newsletter is one of those things that is oftentimes thought of as the task that is tedious to put together and time consuming, but it's also one of the most important marketing tasks you can do, is stay in touch with your audience through an email newsletter. So we solve that problem. We allow you to increase the quality of your email newsletter while also increasing your send frequency.
That's sounds really awesome. Yeah. So, but maybe one step back, was there one defining moment where you said, this AI thing, we have to invest in this, or this is the future? Was there one moment where you realized, okay, this is the game changer, I have to come on board on Rasa and do this, or not Rasa, but I have to invest more my time in AI?
So I read a book called Prediction Machines, which is essentially the economics of AI, and that eventually the technology will become so inexpensive that, doing things manually will just become obsolete. Now, like so many AI companies, we believe that the magic really happens when the human element and the AI work alongside to really optimize processes. So I read this book and I was like, there's no escaping this, right? I mean, the economics of, sorry, there's a plane flying overhead. Apologies for the sound.
You're living near an airport, right?
Yeah, no, I'm believe it or not, I'm not. But realizing that it's not just about, it's not just software engineers that are working with this technology right now. Like this is going to be in the hands of businesses, companies. It's going to trickle down all the way to frontline workers. And so it was kind of like, this is where the world is headed, and I was excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, exactly. So sharing the same value, because I also, that we before the live session we spoke a little bit about the misconceptions. So this is a huge thing, that you combine your human skills with the AI skills, and to giving the AI the repetitive things, to some degree also the boring stuff. I'm always telling.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm always telling the story about my first internship on a TV station, where I did manually the weather prediction. So I counted and put the numbers and things like that. And this is, I mean, many publishing houses, they have an AI, they have some kind of automation that they
Right.
use so that they don't have to do it. So this was
Yeah.
2008, 2009. This is a good
Right.
example of
Right. And
how
now the
AI
game
is
has
helping.
totally changed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what we do. I mean, I always say people come for the AI and then they stay for how easy we make their life. I mean, we're pulling in, there's so many people still manually putting together an email and manually resizing images and, rewriting article descriptions and rewriting article teasers within the newsletter. And there's no reason to do that. If all of the data that you publish lives online, why not take in that data and not only, automate the aggregation of it, but also recommend the most relevant content for every user. And so we believe, because we believe so much in AI tools at Rasa, we also use AI tools for our social media. We use AI tools for our search engine optimization. And it's unbelievable how accessible this technology is already.
Yeah, that's right. I'll never forget my first GPT-3 tech. So my first content writing assistant, I bought it for $40. That was a lifetime deal that I bought it on AppSumo. This was the first one.
That's AppSumo is great. Yeah, for this kind of thing.
They do just great stuff. So and that was the turning point for me where I said, okay, I have to go all in this
All
AI.
in.
Yes.
Do you use content generation for a lot of your outreach?
So you with outreach, you mean like on LinkedIn connections of things like that?
Or anything, whatever you're composing.
Yeah, so I have an automation tool that I'm using for LinkedIn. I think it's called Link Help. I'm just not sure about the name. It's just on the browser, and I just click, and then I can choose which kind of connections I can outreach. This is, but it's also limited. Otherwise, LinkedIn would ban me. But I'm using a lot of AI tools. So for blog articles a lot, for social media captions, writing assistants. I'm using for deep fake videos, so synthetic media. For video snippets, transcripts, I'm using AI. Also, image generation is more and more coming.
Have you heard of DALL-E?
DALL-E.
It's amazing. It's the best.
So yes, DALL-E was in the media, and since then, image generation has a big following. But I mean, image generation is just one small part of this whole world.
But even so, I mean, no one needs to use stock images anymore that everyone shares and pay too much money for them. I mean, the world is just changing, and all these, once hot tools that were the super tech forward tools are now going to be eclipsed by all these AI tools.
Mm-hmm. So this is maybe a good question for tuning in. When I'm somebody who earns money from stock images, so I'm a photographer who's making pictures, and I'm having a living from them, and I'm concerned about this image generation tool. What would be the suggestion to somebody like from this old industry? What would you say to this kind of person?
I'd say there's always going to be a place in the world for artists. I mean, I in a former life, participated in arts programs in my high school and college, and I think that nothing will ever replace the human element of art production. So that's one side of it, and then the other side of it is any artist these days should be aware at least of these emerging technologies, because because if you're an artist, the long and short of it is you need to have, some sort of business plan if that's your livelihood. So just being aware of these technologies is very important, because we always say the magic happens when the human element meets the AI element.
Yeah, exactly. So I also see it as a combination. So I always say the blog articles are 50% or 60% produced by AI, and the other 40% is my own magic. That comes in through my experience as an editor and things like that. That would be exactly that would be some kind of answer that you also gave. so that you have to be aware of this technology and also use it for yourself and add something that is from you, basically. So combining your skills with the AI skills.
Right. If anything, it might just let you do more art and more of what you love to do best.
That's cool. Can you explain the process in Rasa? So what exactly is, where is AI integrated? So is it the copy of the email, or is it you mentioned data? So is it the email list? So the news okay. So
there are a few ways. That's a great question. So we're using AI in a few ways. We will source content from the sources that you deem to be trustworthy, expert in the space. And we can also filter down those sources. So we'll say, okay, well, maybe we want Harvard Business Review to pull in, but only if it relates to content marketing, for example. And so we then develop this nutritious content pool of articles. And as the articles come into Rasa, we use natural language processing to read them and conceptualize them. And as people engage with those topics or those articles, we roll up the topics that are most relevant to the audience, most relevant to the individual. So that's one way in which we're using AI, is the conceptualizing and then determining what people are most interested in. And then the other big piece is the personalization and the recommendation algorithm. So from this content pool, let's say it's 50 articles that have come in from your pre-approved sources. We pull in the metadata and the article title and the description and the image. And from those 50 articles, we're going to say, okay, Jakub, these 5 are for Jakub, these 5 are for Erica, these 5 are for Bob, based on what we know about each reader. And we can further refine what we send to each reader as we collect more engagement data off of them. And then we also use AI for the visual. We will hone in on the focal point of an image using AI to make the template look nice and keep our emails looking nice and sleek.
Yeah, sounds cool. So, yeah. But where do you get maybe I missed that part, but where do you get the information about the client or the person that I want to reach to?
Sure. So there are a couple ways. It's first based on their open and click data. So as soon as they interact with an email, that's when we can start to personalize. But when we work with a more enterprise level client, we can take their data to inform what we start sending folks.
Okay, so you take okay, yeah, makes sense. So if you have already, so this means your clients already have a list of buyers and readers, and that you can use for data sourcing, basically, and identifying, okay, how to reach better to them. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of many of our enterprise clients are in professional and trade associations, so it's part of their it's a core part of their member engagement strategy to stay in touch with their audiences and send them the latest news in the space. Another huge portion of our audience or our customers are going to be marketers who manage multiple newsletters for multiple different clients. And then we have lots of SMBs who need a newsletter. Everyone needs a newsletter, right? Everyone needs to stay in touch with their audience in a meaningful way. So a lot of folks use our newsletter to stay in touch with people in between their sales cycle. So for example, a real estate agent, how often are people buying houses? Well, maybe once every 5 or 6 years. But you have to stay in touch with your clientele in that interim period so that when they are ready to buy or sell their next home, you're already top of mind. There's an interesting stat in real estate. It's like most people would give their agent 4 or 5 stars out of 5 and they really like their agent, but then most people don't use their agent 2 times in a row. And it's because that person is not in their flow and not top of mind. So that's just one example, but everyone needs to stay in touch with their audience and their client base on a regular basis.
Yeah. And how about personalizing? I mean, you mentioned this personalized to one target audience, but can I include, for example, my own personal story into the copy? Because
Absolutely.
So I don't read any, I don't know, unpersonal, just collection of stories or coupons or something like that. I'm more triggered when I see stories by somebody, personal things.
Sure.
Is that something? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. We allow folks to infuse copy directly into the email. You can also write that copy and schedule it in advance if you want. But yes, we know that adding in your own voice is a really big part of communicating about your brand and who you are.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I believe in email marketing. So I one of the first courses that I bought was Jeff Walker and PLF, and the main idea of this is that you build your list and build paying customer. And but still, the why question: why do you think is it important to build your email? Because there are many people who say, yeah, I have likes, I have 100,000 followers on Instagram, or I have a million followers on TikTok. I don't need an email newsletter. I don't have to do. I don't have to build my own list. So why do you think is it still important these days to have a list?
Email. I mean, studies time and again show that email is that dinosaur that hasn't gone away yet. And building your list is so important because being in someone's inbox is a much more intimate way of communicating than hoping that someone might see you on social media. And as we all know, these social media platforms are becoming more pay to play by the day. So unless you are someone with a million followers, the chances that you're going to end up in your audience's feeds are just so low. The chances that you're going to end up in their primary inbox are much higher.
Yeah, especially you're building your house on rented land. This is a term by Joe Pulizzi, who's the founder of the Content Marketing Institute.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's true.
Because the algorithm can change, and then all of a sudden you don't reach the people that you reached 2 weeks ago, because you're not in control of the algorithm. So yes,
completely. And to an extent, there is that in email, right? Because Gmail is in control of their inbox algorithm, of their primary inbox algorithm, but you're still going to land. You're still going to land somewhere, right?
Yes.
So, and I say Gmail, but there are obviously other players in the space. But yeah, no, it's you're much more likely to get the eyeball seen on an email than you are on a Facebook post, especially if you're not paying anything.
Yes, exactly. Okay, cool. Can we speak a little bit about the balance between AI and so the human touch, so that we can all leverage AI as a marketing tool? So do you have any tips or lessons that you can share? Because many people, okay, cool.
Yeah, we've used, I guess, we've beaten the Rasa example down already. We always let folks review their content and kind of give it a last line of eyeballs before anything qualifies to go out to their audience. So there is that last line of defense in Rasa. And then to your point, Jakub, infusing a message that is written by, the brand manager or the CEO, or a letter from the editor, whatever, that's also, a piece of it. But we use a tool called Market Muse in our SEO strategy, and that helps us with the optimization of our content. So, making sure that Rasa is the answer to people's queries when they're searching for email newsletters. But Market Muse doesn't operate, without a human helping it along. It's useful for us to kind of inform Market Muse about what keywords we're interested in ranking for, and then Market Muse gives us examples of tangentially related keywords that we can sprinkle throughout our content so that we're much more likely to be the answer to someone's search query. So that's one great example of a tool where like the human element works alongside the AI element. Jakub, to your other example for natural language generation, like maybe you use a tool like Snazzy AI to write 40% of your blog, and then the other 60% is you kind of tweaking and like the actual human writing. we use the DALI example, which is just like the coolest thing ever. I love it so much. Yeah, I mean, there's so many great tools out there. Oh, for folks who are really interested in going deep on marketing AI tools and like great tools that allow the human to work alongside the machine, a great resource is Marketing AI Institute. Jakub, have you heard of them?
Yes.
They're great. Yeah. So Paul Reitz, our founder over there, he's not a software engineer, but he's a very smart person who quickly figured out what a huge impact these tools are going to have on marketers' lives, and talks to huge audiences about it every single week, sharing this is technology you need to get on board with, and it's not necessarily, or at least not right away, going to replace human beings, but it is going to change what the job is. And so people need to be aware of all these great emerging technologies.
Yeah, definitely. So, but I see the US on the forefront. So I really miss this, especially in Germany. So when I speak with people, it's like, yeah, I heard of that. And even I worked in different agencies and publishing houses, and it was never a big deal. So
Yeah.
I got the idea, and I listened to speaking gigs and things like that, but it was very conceptual. It was not landed on my daily job. Now
Right.
that's the sad thing, and that's the reason why I'm speaking also with many people from the US, because you get the trends directly from them.
Yeah, no, it's so true. Even the past 3 years since I've been talking about this stuff, the world has changed. I mean, I used to talk about natural language generation tools, and I'd say, oh, but don't, maybe don't use them yet. But now, even in the past 3 years, they've come such a long way.
Yeah.
And what a machine can do to write for you, especially like it's a no-brainer with with social media posts and product descriptions, things like that. It's like no-brainer. Go use the AI.
Yeah. But still, there's some fear or something, and that's the reason why I'm doing this show, so that people are not afraid to use these tools. And oftentimes, you can, I mean, instead of buying a coffee a day, you can invest your money in such tools and just test them. And that's the cool thing with software. Huh?
Well, even have you heard of Descript?
Yes, they won a new funding this week. I think I read this week.
Oh, really?
Yes. So they have a new investor round, and I think they will update a lot of things. So it's a really cool tool. Yes.
Really cool tool. For those of you who do podcasts, go buy Descript for $20 a month. You don't even need to stop drinking your coffee. $20 a month, and you can deep fake your own voice.
That's really, so even if I'm not in the mood, maybe I can't speak, but I can train Descript to check my voice, and I can just type it like I would type the podcast episode on a Google Doc, and then Descript is creating the podcast episode with my voice. That's really cool.
Yeah. Really cool.
That's awesome. What trends do you see? So what is the big vision when it comes to Rasa? What are the plans for the next 2-3 years?
For us, I mean, we're always looking for new ways to incorporate AI. I think we'd love to fuse in some sort of natural language generation tool. That's something we've talked about. We're always looking to make our recommendation algorithm better. But yeah, no, we have a lot of ideas, even just from like the content aggregation piece of it. We'd love to use AI a little bit more heavily in recommending content sources to our clients that they should look to in creating their newsletters. So we have a lot of ideas on the horizon.
Cool, sounds awesome. One thing that you gave me also, I think, is an interesting topic. So there's a lot of voice, and I mean, everybody is constantly creating things, and I think the volume will also increase. So how do you, as somebody, as a software company or as a solopreneur, how can I develop an effective online presence so that I stand out amongst all the noise that you hear on the marketplace? What advice would you give?
Yeah, I mean, well, that's one of the reasons that we were founded, is to help people cut through the noise, because there is so much bad content out there that we want to recommend the right and the good content to people. I think that your point of like curating a list of your most loyal subscribers is also hugely important. The people who want to hear from you, that are your trusted and loyal fans. And then, you can automatically help them cut through the noise because you're a presence in their lives. It's so tricky though. Oh man, it's so tricky. Especially these tools are going to help content creation become so much easier. So it will be even more chaotic. I'm always, unsubscribing from things that are bad and unfollowing people that I don't want to land in my feed. So, I mean, any way that you can speak to people meaningfully, one-to-one, and give them kind of that warm and fuzzy feel with technology, as opposed to, actually having to pick up a phone, is the way to go.
Yeah. So I heard this from Steve Sims, who said the 80s are coming back, where you picked up a phone. I mean, a phone call could be also something like a Zoom call, where you meet a person one-on-one and speak with them. And
Right.
I think ultimately this is what marketing should be about. So that it's not about the lead gen, it's about the conversation that we are now having, but on a one-on-one basis. But everybody wants to scale it, I think, too fast, and everybody is just looking on the numbers. But this is how your business grows, basically, when you make these
It's it's such a balance, right? Figuring out how to scale that outreach while not doing a sloppy job and not, stepping on your own feet.
Yeah. Yes. Super curious how it will evolve. I had this idea of personalized deep fake videos. So you can use deep fake videos to personalize to one person, where you mention his or her name, and this can be for sales teams also interesting. This would be
so how do you share this?
How to share? So you can use it through as an email, for example,
or
send it through email or through LinkedIn. So what channel you're using, and this is also, so when you think like rather personalized, but all at the same time AI generated, this would be the answer on the video side. It was just now in my head.
Yeah. There's amazing things are going to come out even in the next 2-3 years that allow people to even do more with AI and email. So we're trying to stay on top of all of that.
That's cool. So if people want more information about you or Raza, where should they go?
I would say you can go right to our homepage, rasa.io, if you want to learn more and talk to one of our awesome team members. You can go to our demo page, so rasa.io/demo. Please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm Erica Salm Rench. And we have, and give us a shout out on social as well. And if you want to learn more and via email, you can just email hello@rasa.io.
Yeah, awesome. So my last question would be, so is there somebody who you could recommend who's also in the content AI space as an interview guest for this show?
Yeah, I would recommend. So going back to the company that I was talking about that does AI stuff for SEO, Market Muse, Jeff Coyle over there is he does all kinds of webinars and podcasts, and he's a great person to have speak.
Cool. Just writing down. And you know him personally, or you?
Yeah, I've been a guest on his show.
Okay, cool. What's the name of his show?
So his company is Market Muse, and he just does a bunch of Market Muse webinars.
Okay,
if you just go to marketmuse.com, you probably can figure out how to get in touch with the folks over there. And I bet if you could probably hit them up on LinkedIn too.
Yes, cool. Awesome. Thanks. I appreciate that one.
Of
Cool.
course.
Anything else that you want to share? Some last statements? So you mentioned a demo that people can check on Rasa.
Yeah. So if you go to rasa.io/demo and you want to learn more about the product and you're interested in using our product for your organization, you can get connected with someone on our team.
Cool. Okay, nice. Okay, thank you very much, Erica.
Thank you, Jakob.
Was a deep dive in email marketing with AI. Interesting niche. And yeah, happy to have you on the show. And if you guys have any questions, just let us know in the comment section. I can forward to Erica. And yeah, thanks and see you next episode.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.